There's that sound. And there we go. We are currently live with our... sorry, wrong one. I had Chronicles on my head. No, we are live with our Warcraft Fangs of the Moon campaign tonight, guys. It's been a little bit, but finally, this episode is brought to you by the letter F. Finally, we are in Fangs. Silly puns, silly puns. Been a while, but after catching at least the players up on some of the stuff that they remembered but didn't write down and whatnot, we're ready to get into this. So we shall begin. Warcraft Fangs of the Moon, Episode 11, Revelations and Questions. Our party had been traveling to the grand city of New Lordaeron after the events of Menethil Harbor. The horrors and sights that they beheld still weighing on their minds. A brief distraction in the form of a playful, fiery gnome mage, who seems to have a personality of a riled up wasp, appeared and gave the party a chance to relax, or something of that nature. With the puzzle of a book of somebody named Babadook, the party has more to consider, and after a harrowing fight with an unknown boat and undead, the party can breathe and take time to think about what is before them. And here we hope everything stays together, because we're now transitioning over to the boat map. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Everyone's singing the Staying Alive song.
Of course.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
YouTube, now if you go nuts because of that, that was a cover. Deal with it.
It was a whispered cover. Shh.
Yep. Okay, loop my playlist. Thank you. As everything lags on my end. Thank you. Settings. There we go. 144.
I open up the chat and I always forget to mute the stream, and then all of a sudden I just hear Barry talking, and then I'm like, oh, didn't mute the stream.
Could be worse. I do it on my phone, and so when commercials play, you all hear it too. Like, oh, I didn't hit the mute button. Whoopsie.
Yep. Pretty much. Alright. You have defeated the enemies who are on the other boat. Lindsay has just handed you a couple of items from her personal reserves as a reward. I believe a circlet for our druid and a ring for our sorceress. You two can now choose to investigate the other boat if you so desire. You might want to let them know before you go that you're going to go investigate, because they might not want to stick around.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just say to Lindsay when she gives us the items, like, we need to head over to the other boat and see if there's any clues on how they found us or why they attacked us or where they came from, etc.
All right. If you want, I can have Ada tie the boat to ours, and we can tow it for a while.
Oh, good idea. Then we can continue to make progress.
Yes, it will also provide a either a source of wood or possibly new furnishings for somebody who likes to burn my ship. And she winks at you.
I'm not sure that's maybe the best idea. This wood has been touched by a necromancer. It could be contaminated.
Oh, that's why we have you, a fine priestess of Valunia, and
Well, I'm not touching any of that stuff. We should just burn it, in my opinion.
all right. Well then, if you wish, go ahead. I'll have Ada tie it to the ship for right now, and then when you get done investigating, we'll decide what to do with it from there. And with that, after Lindsay gets done, the knight takes a deep breath for a second, kind of gathering himself. He's been through a little bit too much, and goes over and throws a couple of hooks over and ties it as securely as he can.
Does he look like he needs healing?
He probably could use some, but he'll decline any if you go to offer him any.
No, I'm not gonna offer. I'm just gonna touch his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds.
He's gonna again decline it as much as he could, as much as he would like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask. That's what I'm just gonna walk past him, seeing that he's injured, touch him on the shoulder, and cast Cure Wounds. I'm not dealing with this. Oh no, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I didn't write down how low health he had. Okay. Oh well, go ahead. I know he wasn't back up to full. That I know.
Because now I have Cure Wounds. I got the good one.
All right, you may do that. Oh, he only had.
Oh wait, that's the wrong die. Disregard, wrong die.
Okay.
8. He gets 8 hit points back.
That's actually pretty good. That puts him at 23, which is better than where he was. He's almost to full. That's good. He was really low there for a while.
Speaking of which, oh yeah, that's right. I came out of that battle untouched. I was great. I don't know how that happened.
Meant to attack the sorceress a bit more.
No.
Nearly killed me like 3 or 4 times. I'm happy with this situation.
I know. Alright, he'll accept it begrudgingly, but he'll acknowledge it and thank you deeply. He almost seems to consider it a debt now.
Cool.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Adelon is called the Knight for a reason.
Well, I'm not stepping on the ship first, so...
Alright.
Okay, I'll walk over onto the ship.
Alright. As y'all cross over, you notice the wood seems to be in a little bit better order than necromantic touched wood, but it's still been, it seems like it's been uncared for a couple of months at least. The barnacles the barnacle might be riding a little bit higher in the water than it should. The deck, it looks bad. Looks like it needs to be cleaned. There's a corpse or two here from the undead that y'all were fighting earlier, and then there's the divided corpse of the boss you were fighting.
The ship looks like it's been uncared for 4 months at least.
Yes. Matter of fact, speaking of him, okay, he's fine. Okay. And y'all can see the cobwebs and everything else all over the boat. There is a couple of carved marks into the slash marks in some of the wood here or there, but it seems like there might be more slashing marks down below, but nothing up here, or nothing very extensive at least.
Well, if we're going to tow it alongside, then I guess I'll take my time searching through it. But I wanted to first look for, like, the quarters of the necromancer and look through those quarters.
Okay.
Look through the rest of
The quarters of the necromancer, you couldn't really find a necromancer quarter, but you do find, at least on the main deck, a captain's quarters and a navigator's quarters. and then down below you can make out at least 4 more quarters, one of which has had the door and part of the wall completely slashed and torn in.
That's strange. Well, I guess I'll look through all of those quarters to see if there's any
Okay.
notes or journals or anything. Or also, I guess, look at the necromancer's body to see if he had anything on him.
Okay. Which one are you going to do first?
Well, since the necromancer's body's laying on the deck of the ship, I guess I'll do that first.
Okay. As you approach it, it seems to be completely cleanly carved in half. The scythe did the spiritual weapon did its job. The body is just completely cleanly cut in half. So much so that it almost looks like half the face is merging from the deck, and the other half of the corpse is the same way. Okay. And it's the same way, and it looks like that part is kind of rising from the deck as well. As you get closer, you notice the eye starts twitching and looks right at you.
Oh, that's great.
Can I take my staff? Can I take my staff and bop the eye real quick?
Yeah, you can.
It's moving.
Yep. Roll me a d20. You have advantage on it. You can roll on your desk if you need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to.
Okay.
It's not functioning today. Ha! Ah! Actually, using my own dice is way more fun.
Oh,
Anyway.
speaking of dice, I've got a set of dice.
Woohoo! You got Chessex dice?
Cool. And red and orange and yellow.
Yeah.
Those are Chessex, aren't they?
Yep.
I don't know.
They look like
They
Chessex.
look like it. I've got the same. Well, not. I've got Chessex dice, not the same as what what you have, Kyrath. Mine are all red with white ink. As well as a ton of
I'm gonna
D6s.
be rolling my my mage die.
Oh, okay.
And one of my lame die.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh. Okay. 3 and an 18, so yay for advantage. Okay.
He's a prone target. You get advantage.
18 plus stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
That's 5, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, you easily poke him in the eye. And, you scoot the body along just a little bit, but his eye seems to kind of close a little bit and then open back up.
Are you sure he's dead? I thought we killed him.
I assume that being sliced in half kills someone, but if they're a necromancer.
I take my staff and I just keep bopping it like this until it stops moving.
How many times? Okay, roll a d6. Let me see how many rounds it takes. In other words, lower is better.
Three.
Is it just the eye on one of the halves is doing this, or are both eyes doing it?
Because of the way it was divided, only one of them is actually doing it. The other one is not looking at you guys.
Is it moving though?
The eye? Yeah.
Both of the eyes are moving?
Yeah.
Okay, is Zerion attacking both of them?
I'm attacking the one that's looking at us.
Yeah,
That's freaking me out.
There was only one side that was attacking you. So in about 3 rounds, 3 whacks is all it takes, and he'll eventually his eye will close and stop glowing, and his arms and leg will just kind of pacify.
Wait, his legs and arms will back. He's been moving!
Okay, wait, no, I cast Infestation on both halves of his body repeatedly until the insects just completely eat his body.
Let's just make sure 100% he's dead! Can you make maggots really quick so that they eat him? Like, let's just get this going.
Yeah. Like, okay, come on, maggot, let's go eat his body. We don't want it to come back to life.
And if all else fails, let's take his split halves and put them on separate ends of the boat and drop them in the ocean.
Give me an Arcana check. I didn't think y'all would actually try to poke him to death.
Oh, sweet. I got a nat 20. I got a 23 total.
Oh, yeah!
Okay. You notice as you summon your maggots to eat his body, you notice that where the body is slowly limping down, the flesh is being eaten away, that there's a spirit form behind it, and it is staying.
Oh,
what does that
mean? It means we're splitting his body up and cutting it into little pieces and then fishing it, giving it to the fish.
Because you rolled a nat 20 on your Arcana check, you know what this is. You've heard about it, probably in like some of probably from like some of the books one of your sisters used to carry around, used to study from. This is a revenant. Meaning, if you kill the body, it will still come back. If you destroy the body, it still comes back.
The body comes back, or the spirit?
Both.
Did I read anything about how to defeat a
You do know, since you did score a nat 20, you do know that for a revenant to be, for its spirit to be appeased, it has to redeem itself, or it has to get whatever revenge, whatever is driving it forward, whatever is locking it still here in the material world. It has to let that go.
Okay, but locking it to material world is different from locking it into this specific location, right? Like, if we completely destroyed his body, he could come back, but elsewhere.
You could make that assumption, yes.
Cool. Then, since I just remember that I got this cantrip, I'm gonna sit here and just cast Sacred Flame over and over because it does radiant damage. And I'm just gonna toast this body as much as possible with I'm just gonna soak it with radiant fire.
Okay. Let's see. How many days was that?
Or we could just tie the pieces of his body to a really heavy something and just drop it overboard, and then he would just sink to the bottom of the ocean, and then even if he got reanimated, he'd be stuck at the bottom of the ocean forever.
It's also good. I think you should get on that. I'm going to continue with the radiant damage. I feel like that will help, I don't know, delay his return.
Are there actually cannons on the ship like there are in this picture?
There are actually cannons on the ship. It's actually true to this one. You get the idea that this boat was probably part of the military, probably part of the Alliance or Gilnean Navy.
Okay, well, I'll just tie one half of his body to one of the cannons and then push that one overboard, and then I'll tie the other half of his body to a different cannon and push that overboard.
As the ship's moving, so it should space out his body.
Exactly.
Okay.
We are done with this. We are
before I do that, I'll also
ever
check
again.
to see if he had any like journals or notes or anything on his body.
Okay, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and check him. Go ahead and give me an investigation check for that, since you're doing it under a time limit.
Oh yay! What's my investigation? +1, so that's 18.
Let's see here. You don't find any journals? Oh, you do find 91 silver. And you also find a fancy pocket watch.
Don't you have identify?
No, I have detect magic.
You might want to make sure that pocket watch isn't cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, you found it on a necromancer.
Uh-huh.
Just saying.
Oh, there's Denny. Aw, Denny does not have identify. Oh well. Okay.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess after I'm done pushing them overboard, then I will cast. Actually, I don't think I have detect. Oh, I do. I did keep detect magic when I was going crazy with all my spells to annihilate the book. I still did keep detect magic, so I'm gonna cast detect magic as a ritual spell and then investigate the pocket watch.
Okay. As you finish up all 10 minutes of casting the spell as a ritual, all on a silver pocket watch.
Man, you can't be too careful, man.
Yeah. You see a faint bit of magic. Very faint. Let me see. Detect magic. You do know the school, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. It would be considered restoration. It seems to be a ward is inscribed on the inside that's been scraped as well.
That sounds like a trap to me, Ward.
But it's a restoration magic. That's not like, at least it's not necromancy magic.
That's true. It's true. Maybe it's how he comes back. Maybe it restores his body to his soul. Or it could be like a health spell, I suppose.
Well, it doesn't seem super dangerous, so I guess we'll keep it.
Oh, no, okay. So I pick up the book, super dangerous. You pick up a watch from a necromancer.
Yeah, well, we know the book is super sketchy. We don't have any evidence that this pocket watch is sketchy.
I'm seeing how this works when I discover magic items.
Yeah, the pocket watch has
dangerous,
restoration
but you
magic
find
on it.
them.
Do we remember what the book has on it?
I don't know, your notes probably say.
Yeah, it has
I know.
transmutation, divination, and abjuration magic.
See, that's just diversity. I don't see the problem with this.
It also compels the holder not to get rid of it. Actually, I'll double check. I'll just put down the pocket watch. See if it also has compulsion magic on it.
You want to see if the watch has compulsion magic. Nope. It just seems to be a protective ward. Is about the best way you could put it. It seems like this may have been a gift from a family member. Some of the inscription that hasn't been scratched out says to, you can't really make out who, with all my love.
There's not like any. Is this like a pocket watch that has like the flip cover? There's not like a photograph or any super nice clue about, oh look, there's an evil organization symbol on the inside of this pocket watch.
No, the inscription
Or
is...
next to like the forehand, there's not like, oh, it's half past time to enact super secret plan that we described on the.
No, there's nothing like that. It is a clamshell style pocket watch.
With our luck, it's just gonna be a picture of his grandmother or something.
There is no picture.
To my dear young Billy Bob, have fun on your next adventure at sea. Love your grandmother.
P.S. Please stop playing with the body parts. It freaks me out.
Okay, so now I guess it's time to explore the rest of the ship.
Okay, which room do you
Yes!
go to?
The captain's quarters.
room. Yeah.
Okay. In the captain's quarters, I'm assuming you guys are taking as much time as possible.
Mm-hmm.
In the captain's quarters, you find a couple of suitcases, like the captain had just moved in, like this was her first voyage kind of thing. A lot of female clothing in here. Yes, you can open up the thingy.
You know, I'm starting to suspect that maybe this necromancer took over the ship. It's not his.
As you look about, you can notice, you notice on the wall, which it's now on the floor, leaning up against the wall, is a finely crafted plaque that is the ship's charter. Do you guys go over to read it or no?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. As you go over and look at it, the wood on the plaque is very nicely done. Despite being, out at sea for a while now, four-ish months unattended and whatnot. There's a little bit of dust over the glass, and as you wipe it free, the charter mentions that the ship is given to Leona Zane as a commission for her first commission.
What? No. Oh no. No.
And
Should we know Leona Zane?
Somebody does. And as you keep reading on, it also mentions a quartermaster goes by the name of Darian Bixby.
Darian who?
Bixby. Oh, wrong page.
Does Audric freak out at the name?
Yeah.
Does Audric freak out at this name?
Yeah. Audric definitely freaks out when he sees, he looks over, he's reading the plaque, and then all of a sudden he just reaches up and is it attached to the wall, or can I just pull it off the wall and just stare at it?
It was on the floor, leaning up against the wall. Yeah, so you can pick it up and stare at it if you wish.
So I just start clutching it really tightly and my knuckles turn white. I was like, this is my sister's ship.
Maybe she got off. Maybe some of the crew escaped before everything went down.
I just I look around and dang it, we already threw the stupid necromancer overboard. Well, I hope he suffers at the bottom of the ocean for all eternity when he continually reanimates down there.
You don't know that she's dead? Did we when we were I'm now Oriana's thinking back, does she remember any zombies that were female?
Nope.
When they were fighting?
Nope, they were all male.
I don't remember killing any female zombies. Do you?
Do I remember killing any female zombies?
I feel like if you'd seen your sister as a zombie, you would have noticed.
Yeah.
Since you're being challenged here, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Nine plus 3.
As far as you can remember, you don't think you saw any females?
I go over back to the luggage and I try to see if it smells like Leona.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check or a perception check.
As he's doing that, I'm gonna go through her desk area and see if I can find papers or something that explains maybe what she was doing here, and where the last place she stopped was.
Okay.
That's a 12.
12. You catch sense of her perfume. And as you
Okay,
go,
I look over to see if there's any like blood or anything that looks like a struggle.
just a second. Zariana, as you're going through the desk, you don't notice any journals or whatnot. It seems that maybe some of them were cast out or thrown away or something, gotten to, but you do find a locket. Inside of it is a picture of Audric and all of his brothers, as well as all of his sisters.
I kind of hold it. I look at Audric, see he's like obviously distressed, and I'm like, just kind of close the locket and kind of hold it for a second. Did you find anything?
Well, these clothes smell like my sister's perfume, but I don't see any blood.
Maybe she got off, or maybe the necromancer kidnapped her and put her somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's dead. It just means that obviously now we need to find her and find out what happened.
How many of my family members can go missing? My family is cursed.
Well, what family isn't cursed? Okay, maybe that was in poor taste. Look, I found this. I think she'd probably want you to have this.
Mm-hmm. I look at it, and then I smile when I see the picture of everybody. And then I'll put that in my stuff.
I'm sure she escaped. I mean, captains do that, right? They escape all the time. The crew would want to put their life on the line for your sister. She was clearly, look at all the stuff she had. She felt safe here. I'm sure that the crew really cared about her. Made flak. Obviously the ship was commissioned for her. I'm sure that she's fine. That she's, well, maybe not fine, but alive is the main. I'm sure she's alive somewhere. We just have to find her.
I appreciate it. I don't really think any of those logical conclusions are correct, but thanks anyways.
I'm trying here. I know how this looks, obviously.
Okay, I guess then we'll continue on and search the next room.
Okay.
What was on the other part of the ship?
On the main deck, there was the navigator's quarters.
Yeah. Let's search the navigator's quarters.
Okay. As you look through them, seems to be a lot of clothing, a lot of personal effects. That's the word. Personal effects of a gentleman. He seems to be one who likes a little bit of more of the prim and proper attire, coats, neckties, stuff like that. Lots of nice white shirts that have been freshly pressed and whatnot. Other than that, you find a discarded envelope that's got the navigator's name on it. The name is Bixby.
Do I know this Bixby just from being in a naval capacity and being around humans? Does that name sound familiar to me?
Not that I know of. Give me an intelligence check. If you get really high, you might actually know him. If not, we'll see what happens.
Oh, 16. It's an 18.
No. You might have seen the name somewhere, but you've not actually met a Bixby. It seems like this. Go ahead.
Can I pick up the envelope?
Yeah.
And look at it, see if there's something inside it?
Oh, yeah. Some dust. Dead spider.
Ew. Shake out the spider. Nothing
Did
is
the plaque say like what the name of the ship was?
Yes. The plaque did indeed say what it was. There it is. It is called the Astrea. Astraea. The Astrea.
Much better than the flying whale. Beastmeister has good taste in her ship name.
Yes, indeed, I can agree with that. Flying whale is not exactly make someone feel like they're following on a pretty ship.
It's a cargo ship.
Well, we need to find out where the ship was last time. Who knows? You know, it's quite possible. I mean, the ship has been obviously neglected for at least 4 months. Maybe it got stolen out of harbor, and only a few crew members were left to deal with the problem.
Maybe. There's not any like navigation logs in the navigator's quarters.
For that, yeah, you see the navigation logs. They're easily, you can see them easily. You can tell that it was the navigator's logs have been, or at least the navigator's chart has been recently used, and it plots a course from somewhere up north to about where you guys are. And it almost seems like it was rerouted halfway there. Like they were coming from up north to Menethil Harbor, you want to say? But it seems like they were redirected from about halfway there to about where you guys are. And you can also see.
Is there a name of the city, like a city or harbor, of the last place that they docked?
There is no name on it. It just seems to be part of the lands up north, and it is up north past any place on Eastern Kingdoms or over on Kalimdor.
And there's no record of any of the other journeys before that?
It seems like this might have been the maiden voyage, and the voyage from before then, you see it traced from Gilneas, straight up from the harbor. Like, it was just first commissioned and given to your sister, and then it had its first mission.
Are there any dates on these navigation charts?
The commission chart, or when it left port, there's a date of about how far ago was that? About a year ago. And you see it made landfall, or at least it's recorded landfall on lands of northern lands at about 6-ish months ago.
So someone stole this ship, and they didn't do anything with it until setting sail from Menethil Harbor a little bit ago, and then rerouting and intercepting us. That seems...
No, the other way around. It went from Gilneas City, its first commission, to the lands of the north, and then from there, from the lands in the north, it was heading back south towards Menethil Harbor, and somewhere around about halfway to Menethil Harbor, it was rerouted to intercept you guys.
So obviously
So
someone
like halfway would be like how many
It would be
days ago? Or like months or whatever.
Yeah, come to think of it, either way, it would be about a couple of days ago. It would coincide with just about the same time that you guys left Menethil Harbor after things went south.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously
So like,
someone
in my
commandeered the
understanding
ship.
is they originally left sail on the maiden voyage like a year ago, and then they got to the northern lands 6 months ago. But then, like, within the past month, their ship set sail to Menethil Harbor. But then a couple days ago, when we left Menethil Harbor, it rerouted. So, like, in between that time, it was just sitting in the northern lands or somewhere.
You get a feeling that within about a month, 2 months, maybe it was sitting up there. Oh, and there's an ad on YouTube now. Because why not?
So perhaps wherever this zombie threat comes from, it has something to do with the northern lands. And when my sister sailed there, they took over the ship or something.
Well, but you did say that revenants, they come back to deal with unfinished business. Clearly this Captain Necromancer, whatever his problem was, he's someone's done something to him and on our ship. The question is, was it you or I, or maybe it was someone on board? Unfortunately, it seems like maybe he just captured your sister's ship because she was the closest one. Of course, too, it also could be that he captured your sister's ship because it's your sister's ship. And that could mean that you're the person he has an issue with, but I don't know. It seems equally that it could be us or it could be someone else.
I guess I'm going under the assumption that this person is in league with
Menethil Harbor.
Yeah. What's that lady's name?
Oh, with Amu.
Yeah.
Could be. But I feel like the people who are in league with Amu, they know about our rivalry, and he would have done something to sort of stick it in my face. At least that's the impression I've been getting. It seemed more cold-hearted than that, simply like someone trying to get a job done. It wasn't very personal, do you know what I mean?
Well, maybe we should explore the rest of the ship and see if anything else comes to light.
Maybe we should check the cargo. Maybe that will tell us something. Who knows? Maybe they accidentally were transporting zombies. We'd find something under there. There has to be a way. I just have a hard time believing. I mean, you and we're adventurers, but we're not the most skilled, and we managed to take him down fairly easily. I feel like there had to be something else that would prevent a whole crew and your captain and your sister from being able to stop him.
Well, if we're working on the assumption that all of these undead people are all working together, then if they have a larger force up north that captured my sister and her crew, and then the ship was given under the control of this particular individual.
It could be. We would know. The thing is, if we find some food down there or something, being a druid, you'd probably be able to tell how old it is, and then we'd at least know the last time living people were expected to eat something on that ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would be good to know whether or not food was packed at all for this journey south.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we find our way downstairs.
Okay.
Trying to find a cargo hold.
Oh, the cargo hold?
Mm-hmm.
That's easy to find. It's in the bottom, and you notice that the food, it seems to have been packed for to be substantial, about a year's time, and it looks like it's gone through about 4 months. Almost want to ballpark it into about 4.5 months. And there's a lot of dried food here that we'll keep for a while, but...
Okay. I don't know if you have the answer to this, but about 4 months ago, what were Audric and I doing?
About 4 months ago, you guys would have been helping out Gilneas, probably just helping out morale among the troops and whatnot. Just kind of doing messenger work, basically.
So, this ship was captured about 4 months ago. If it was meant for us, wouldn't you think that the ship would have deviated towards Gilneas? Would have gone looking for us towards Gilneas, but instead, it decides 4 months ago, gets captured, and comes directly here.
A couple days ago is when it was.
The ship was captured.
It seems to be redirected a couple of days ago. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. Like it received a missive from someone close to Menethil Harbor and then rerouted to follow you.
Okay, but you're saying the food was packed at least 4 months ago?
No, 4 months of food have been used.
Okay, so it's been on at least living people have been on this ship for at least 4 months.
Yes.
Is what we're getting.
Yeah,
okay.
At least 4.5 months, you figure.
So you said earlier that the navigation log said that they left port a year ago and they made landfall in the northern land 6 months ago.
Okay, yeah, whatever it says for that then. But
okay.
The basic idea is that the food has been being used from Gilneas at least till up the lands up north, and then used for a little while.
Okay.
The basic idea is that something happened up north, and then no more living people were on this boat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I was assuming.
Okay.
Well, hopefully they either escaped up north or they were taken prisoner and kept alive.
Either way, it seems like our next step should be traveling north. Do you think... I know that the king wanted us on this journey, but it seems more and more that we're needed elsewhere. I'm not really sure what else we can do here.
Well, if the ship was sent to Menethil Harbor, which was also the site of the attack, and the whole reason we're meeting in New Lordaeron is to figure out the source of these Black Knights or whatever, that maybe their origin is from the Northern Lands, so maybe it would be good for everyone to know this information. And we could send an expedition there to find out what happened. Especially if this ship belongs to the Gilnean Navy and the Alliance forces, so...
That's your sister, your decision. I'll do whichever you want. I want to know what Amu is doing, but she hasn't targeted anyone I care about yet.
As you guys are searching the bottom hold, there is also a middle deck to the boat that has a few more rooms if you wish to look.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Alright. There are 4 rooms on either side of the boat. One of them on the left side. Ship terminology, nobody correct me. I don't know. I'm an old Texas boy from
It's
middle
port.
of dirt,
Port.
so whichever side that is. Port side.
It's the port side.
One of the ones on that side has had the door busted in, as well as the walls torn up.
Wait, so the walls facing the inside of the ship or like the outside of the ship?
The interior of the ship, as you come up from the cargo hold or go down into the center section, has a hallway with 4 rooms on each side, port and starboard. One of them has its very similar to the way the flying whale is set up, kind of thing, except there's more rooms. But one of them is pushed in, and seems to have been under heavy attack, like somebody was taking a sword or implements of war to it, martial war.
Okay, let's investigate what's inside that room.
Okay, into that room you go. In that room, you're going to find what looks to be a comfortably sized room, except that this one has some battle scarring on it, particularly along the walls and whatnot. In one corner there is a large war hammer, very gilded in gold and platinum, and also a giant sword, great sword that has been wrapped in a cloth, as well as a torn journal, or a journal that's been pierced in the center of it, with some blood spattering on it.
Can I look at the gilded weapons?
Yes.
And as someone who's, I've spent a good deal of time around paladins and clerics. Can I look for symbols that would tell me if these are paladin or clerical instruments?
Oh yes. Being where you're from, clerical for certain. The hammer you pick up, you have to use 2 hands. It's a beefy weapon, but you see the name of it is Path of Radiance, and it is definitely a paladin hammer. It seems to be a gift that had been crafted lovingly for a son, or either a son or a grandson.
Any symbols that would say who this belonged to or where it's from?
Not who it belongs to, but you do see a couple of symbols for Darkshire. Be one of the smiths. Seems like one of the smiths from or somebody from Darkshire had this commission for their son or grandson.
And I just, like, a little piece of me, that Oriana thinks, because she thinks of her own paladin friend, this timer doesn't look familiar at all, or it doesn't look like Sebastian's, right?
No, this does not look like Sebastian's.
Okay.
It's a little bit more ornate, like somebody put a lot more money than what he would have had, and it almost seems personally engraved as well. To kind of change the name, it looks that it was originally named Radiance, and that whoever took it up renamed it Path of Radiance, and it added that in as kind of a special touch. One
Is
side
there a
of the
fire emblem symbol on it?
Huh?
I said, is there a fire emblem symbol on it?
Nope, there's not. Good reference, but no. On one side, one face of the hammer, it says "Let the light shine," and on the other side, it says "Follow in his steps," or "Follow in the light steps." Sorry. It seems that whoever owned this was very devout.
And what about the other weapon?
The other weapon, I need you to give me a Constitution save on this, though.
Am I touching it?
Yep, you gotta touch it to pick it up.
Well, I wasn't trying to pick them up. I was just trying to look at them.
Oh, okay.
Like this, it's stabbed into the wall, right?
No, these are laying on the ground.
I'm getting close to look at him.
Okay. The mace, very much so, is very much so a paladin weapon. It hasn't been defaced at all. The sword, as you look at it, you notice the edge is very sharp, as the cloth that's been wrapped around it. It's been wrapped around several times, but you can see peeking through that it has cut through several of the layers just by being wrapped around it. There's also, for some reason, a little bit of ash just kind of floating around where the sword is. The handle is of very fine make. Matter of fact, you can see the Argent Dawn insignia on the. Yes, the Argent Dawn insignia on the pommel, and the crossguard has inscriptions of passages from the Book of Light, and the leather wrapping on it is done in a traditional paladin, very much so in line with the Argent Dawn, and almost in keeping with Uther as well. Uther Lightbringer, as the wrapping is really very finely crafted, very remarkable blade kind of thing.
Why would your sister have weapons with the Argent Dawn on the ship? Have your family dealt with the Argent Dawn before?
Who's the Argent Dawn?
The Argent Dawn. The Argent Dawn would you would know them fairly well. They are the paladins who secure the roads and whatnot against the undead in Gilneas and Eastern Plague Lands, Western Plague Lands. These are like the sheriffs, so to say. They are would be considered Jedi and whatnot, just in outlook. These guys are the cream of the crop. When you see Argent Dawn flags, you know they're gonna go smite somebody.
Like, there's paladins,
and
then there's the Argent Dawn.
Yeah, there's like everyday paladins.
And everyone wants to be the Argent Dawn.
Yeah. To put it simply, is the normal everyday paladin would be very similar to what Sebastian, Zariana's friend, would be.
Oriana.
Oriana's friend would be. Sorry. Comparing him to Uther Lightbringer, who in lore was the teacher to Arthas. So he is that much higher up. And that's the kind of separation we're talking about. It is like, normal paladins are basically the city cops in Stormwind, whereas the paladins, the Argent Dawn paladins, are more like the Texas Rangers kind of thing. I mean, that kind of...
The question is, why is your sister transporting like uber paladins on her ship?
Yep. Do you do anything else with the sword?
I feel like you want me to touch it now because like you kind of spoiled it with the Constitution save.
Well, what about the ring of mage hand? You can grab it with a mage hand.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's bad. He spoiled it. Now I'm acting out of character knowledge, and I don't want to touch it.
Well, he said that it has ash floating in the air.
That's true. That's suspicious and weird.
Yep.
I shall use my ring.
Okay.
Like, I'm picturing, like, heat, shimmery, like, fire enchanted death blade aura around it. And someone wrapped it in cloth, so it sounds dangerous to me.
Yes. Did you give me the mage hand ring as an item? I'm not seeing it in my inventory.
It should be there.
Oh wait, nope, I found it. Sorry, my bad. This ring allows the user to cast mage hand at will. It has 3 charges. Yeah, so I'll cast Mage Hand, and I'm just gonna like take whatever cloth is binding it and just go.
Okay, that's very simple. The Mage Hand, the Invisible Hand, the Spectral Hand reaches out and grabs the material, and it effortlessly pulls the cloth off as you're pulling with the blade or against the blade, so that the cloth cuts in, or the blade cuts the cloth, and it just whoosh, almost like the cloth, like there was no resistance at all.
Seems sharp.
Yep.
Okay.
And laying before you is a 5-foot-long great sword, gold inlay and silver trimmed blade all the way down, sharp, looks like it could cut if you looked at it wrong. There's also towards the last third of the blade is a insignia floating off of the sword with a hand on it. Not a physical hand. It looks like a hand has been carved into this metal.
Wait, I thought it was floating off of it.
There is a medallion that is floating off of the blade. That is part of it, magically part of the blade, but it is floating off, and the blade itself is lying.
Wait, so the hand is on the blade or on the floating thing?
Oh, now I see what you're talking about. No, the hand is on the floating medallion. It's carved into it, so it's not a
okay.
hand on it.
So it's like, here's the sword, and the medallion's doing this, and there's a hand right here.
Yeah, and well, there's a hand imprinted on the medallion, kind of like.
So like hand here, medallion's doing this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
No. Well, I'll just spoil it for you guys, anyways. What you see before you, because it's hard to describe, because it's really, Blizzard did a really marvelous job at making this weapon. It's not practical at all. What you see before you is the Blade of Legends. This is the Ashbringer.
Okay, now I exactly know what you're talking about.
This is the Ashbringer.
Yeah, that's hard.
You can still see us. I apologize if the video is like and whatnot, and looks more like we're going to throw up or
this episode
something
by podcast.
Yep. Everything on my end is showing that it's green, but I don't know why. So it's either OBS or Twitch. I'm not sure which one I'm going to blame on this one, because who knows. But anyways, we're in the room. The players have found the Ashbringer, as it were, which is a sacred blade in the world of Azeroth, and it is the paladin of all paladin weapons, kind of thing. And it is currently being held aloft by a mage hand, a purple, partially see-through hand that's just holding it up, and it is gleaming nice and shiny, and is waiting as King Arthur, and there's no King Arthur. Because our players are not paladins.
Are you implying that I am not the chosen one of the Ashbringer? Come on, I feel like I should be King Arthur is what I'm saying. I think I should be King Arthur. I'm okay with Kyrath being Lancelot, that's fine. You know.
No. My plans go elsewhere. Sorry. You can't be King Arthur today.
Darn it. Next time. Next character.
Yep. But anyways, you do have now, at least within your possession, the Warhammer Path of Radiance and the Great Sword, the Ashbringer.
Now we just have to go find the Radiant Dawn.
Yep.
I just have all the fancy weapons. Just all of them.
Okay, so I guess we can explore the other...
This room still has a journal on the table.
Oh, right, there's a journal with a hole, like, pierced in it or something.
I made this journal. You will read it. You...
That's actually, I already have the next part of my notes. So as soon as I went over to type a new note, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, there's a pierced in the center.
I spent hours making this stinking journal. You can read it. Alright. This journal. Let me pull that out. Oh, no. Nope. Nope. Okay. This journal has several entries in it. You may take your time and read as you will.
Oh no! What? I read one sentence of Journal Entry 6, and I'm like, oh no, what is happening?
What? I haven't even...
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert, there are 7 entries in this journal.
Okay. I feel like one of us should read this out loud, otherwise it's just the 3 of us staring at a screen.
Yep. If you wish, I may, or I will read, but if one of you two wishes to read, that is fine with me. I will let you read. I have all of them in a handy dandy OneNote, so I don't have to look through each one.
I can read it if you want.
Either way.
Okay. The Ashbringer is dead. Long live the Ashbringer. I did not know that such words could ever reach me. I mourn for the Morgains, but especially for Azeroth, as such a champion of the light is such a great loss for us all. Alexandros... Oh, I think Alexandros is dead, Odric. Was a good man, and I did not know his passing would affect me. So, his son has borne some disheartening news and requested that we travel north, as he now bears the blade. I will follow this command, as he is now the Ashbringer. A strange night elf priestess is accompanying him, and she seems to be quite disheartened herself. Even in the dark we must...
A night elf priestess?
Following him. And he called it... That's a strange night... That's usually me. You're not Alexandros' son, are you? You're not telling me things. Just, it's very suspiciously similar to our circumstance.
Yes.
Entry 2. I have been noticing troubling personality quirks from Morgaine. I'm not sure he's ready to carry such a mantle, but it is what it is. His companion is melancholy. She needs a good hug and okay, well that's not me. A good hug and possibly not some counseling, as a great hurt weighs heavy on her. I pray the light will guide and nurture her. And that's it. That's all of entry 2.
Do you think the night elf priestess is what's her face?
Oh, yep, yes, probably a moo. Yeah, that makes more sense. Melancholy, hurt, yeah. Well, this is gonna be fun. Entry 3. We have reached our goal. Wait, that means the moo has been traveling with the Morgaine's son. She was supposed to be back home in Kalimdor. Why is she...
Wait. What does the first entry say about why they're traveling?
A strange night elf priestess is accompanying him, and he doesn't say.
He has borne some disheartening news and requested we travel north.
Well, the troubling news maybe is probably that his dad's dead and was killed by zombies, I would assume.
Why would he need my sister to go north? Interesting.
Journal entry 3. We have reached our goal. At least we are landed up in this desolate land. My word, it is cold. Morgaine has ordered us to stay here while he makes a journey inland. I wish Darian was here. He is a more selfless leader than Rilnault. But I would suppose wishing only helps if you have a djinn who is friendly near you. The night elf has started to look darker as of late. I'm not sure about what happened, but she seems to have become sinister in her outlook. I'll have a word with Morgaine when he returns. This does quite sound more like the... Journal entry 4. I had Paladin Presley scout out the nearby woods to ensure the safety of the ship. There was a cry, a bit of a creepy cry, that rang out. Presley returned shortly, but her skin was pale. I'm not sure what it is going on, but I do not have a good feeling about it. Journal entry 5. Morgan has finally returned. Took his sweet time. This weather is bone-chilling. For some reason, the sword the Ashbringer is covered. That blade should have been uncovered and left to glow with the glory of the light. Renault has a strange blade with him now, one he keeps close to his heart. I can only hope that this blade will help. Perhaps Renault is that the strange knight that was traveling with Amu? You think?
Maybe.
He had a strange blade with him. Journal entry 6. Things have gone south. Morgaine is a traitor to the light. There has been fighting for days now. A small group and I have barricaded ourselves into the hold. This is probably my last entry. Are you reading this with me, or am I reading this out loud? I need to know.
You're reading it out loud to me.
Ariana just kind of stops and she just,
Is that the end of the entry? What else does it say?
It says that things got really bad. Entry 7. Things got really bad and everyone died. It was, yeah, things got real bad. It seems like, the
Okay, I grab the journal and look.
No, I wouldn't read that. I wouldn't read those, wouldn't.
What does it say? And I go to read it and look at it. I'm just like silent, staring at it. Mograine is turning them into something else. Something like the undead.
Maybe it's. I mean. I'm sorry, Audric.
Okay, I'm gonna roll Arcana check. Do I know if anybody can like become undead? Or is that permanent?
Undead.
Oh, can undeath be reversed? Okay.
Yeah. I got a 14.
People have been studying for years to see what they can do with undeath and try to undo its effects. From what you can tell, from what you remember, probably not. You would have to consult with some of the mages of Dalaran from the Kirin Tor or from some of the other mages guilds. But as far as you know, undeath is permanent.
Okay, yeah. I just throw the book down, and then I shift into my Worgen form, and then I just like start just destroying everything.
Oriana's gonna moonwalk out of the room.
Okay. For this particular room, which walls are you going for? Or are you going more for the
whatever section he starts tearing up, Oriana's going to the other side.
Okay.
She's like, okay, wide berth here.
Okay. Okay, and Audric, how far are you going to destroy the room? Are you going to just destroy the table, the bed, the bookshelves that are quite a bit old now and in disrepair, or are you going to just try to destroy the ship and tear down the walls and whatnot?
No, I'll just destroy everything in the room, but then once that's destroyed, then I'll go back down to the cargo hold, and I'll destroy all the rest of the stuff that's in the cargo hold.
Okay. So Audric is now destroying pieces that he can find within the ship that is of no value. Okay. Oriana, would you like to search the rest of the ship, or is this enough for you?
I don't really want to be anywhere he's destroying the things, so...
I'm on the bottom floor in the cargo hold, so the rest
it won't
of the
take him.
floor.
It'll take him like 2 minutes.
I mean, I think that the journal... I mean, did he destroy the journal?
What? No, we need that.
Yeah, I know, but like you're in a rage right now, okay? I don't know what you're doing.
That's why I threw the journal away from me before I went to my ramp.
Okay, before I leave, I slowly pick up the journal, put it in my satchel.
Okay.
Moonwalk out of that situation. And then, what time of day is it?
Still about, it hasn't been too much longer. Y'all spent maybe half an hour over here. So, the flying whale is being content right now. At least right now. Every now and then you hear a small gnomish voice pipe up and carried over the winds, but that's it.
That is unfortunate. I was hoping I could see the moon.
Not quite yet. It's like mid-afternoon, about 2-3 o'clock. At most.
There's a YouTube ad.
Yes,
and it is people screaming, and it's oddly fitting because it's the kind of scream that's I would imagine the boat had. It's like, okay, that's a little creepy.
Sounds about right. Oh wow, why did I drop so low?
Okay. So then I guess I'm gonna go back up to the top deck, and I'm gonna go to the back end of this ship, and just kind of find a view where, because like the ship is being towed, right? I want to be in the back. I want to be in the back of the ship so that I can't see the other ship. I want to look up what's behind us and just kind of stare off in the horizon.
Okay.
And as I do that, I'm just gonna say a prayer for Audric and then one for his sister's soul.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and say your prayer. It seems like a nice, bright, beautiful afternoon. The prayer seems to go up. You don't know what's going to happen now.
Dang it! I didn't take. There's a whole like rites spell that I was like, oh, this is totally useless, but it would have been totally useful because one of the rites is rites of the dead, and I could have done that. I was like, this is not practical.
This is not practical. When is anyone ever going to die in the pain?
Well, no, it's like buffs for, so like this rites for death. There's a marriage rite that gives the two people a buff for 24 hours. Like I was like, this isn't practical. What am I going to use this? It takes up a whole spell slot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm feeling like maybe I should have, at least for this level.
Okay.
So
Anything else?
that's what I do.
Still a couple of rooms left to search if you wish. Then that's about it.
I think after I say my prayer, I think I'm going to say one more, but this time I'm going to use the light, the Book of the Light, and find some passages that deal with death and do another, but this time trying to appeal to, her side of things, her human side of things.
Okay.
And the light.
I try to appeal to the light side of things. Are you searching for something specific? Or trying to do something specific, or just offer a comforting prayer? Because it sounds like you're trying to get some divine intervention, but I don't know if you are.
More like probably we're never going to find her body, and if we do, it's probably not going to be the same body. So I'm basically trying to give her last rites, but using because I don't really know her religion, and it doesn't really seem like Audric's religion's the same as his family's, so just trying to find some middle ground there.
Okay, so you're trying to more or less give peace to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go ahead and do so. Find a nice passage in the prayer book of the light, and it goes over exactly what you're wanting to do, comfort and whatnot, and to ease the passing of the soul. And it's a bright, beautiful afternoon. The prayer seems to have gone out, but for this, you really don't know if it's helped out the soul or not. Let me check on something.
I'm just trying to think, like, young priestess who's like, I don't know what else to do here.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, you've done what you can do, but the spirit is either too far away or you're too far away from the body. Can't really do much with rites like that.
Yeah.
But you've done what you could.
And then when I'm done, I'll just stay there until Audric comes back up. And just wait for him there.
Okay. Audric, you found some dried meats that you've been tearing into. It smells quite nice. You catch the hint of some dried salted pork and some dried beef, dried chicken, dried everything, and just the meats. The smell is actually not too bad. You've also found a barrel of overripe, quite a bit overripe oranges that squish really, really nicely in your hands at the
Well, I guess I'll just keep rampaging until either everything is destroyed or until I feel like tired and I got all my catharsis done with.
It would have taken you to get through all of that about 20 minutes.
Okay.
It wouldn't take long.
Yeah.
It's a year's worth of food, but it's still just only a year's worth. To a rampaging Worgen, that's not that hard to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire floor of the cabin, or of the hold now, is littered with foodstuffs and overripe oranges that have been squished and pieces of wood that have been broken all over the place now. Oh no, it decided to stop. Why did you stop? Oh, you were so puss. Oh, that's great. Alright, like I said, it takes you about 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna... I'll just make a roll here and see how well. Okay, not very well. Okay, well, so then if everything in there is destroyed, what I'm gonna do, because I still feel like I have a lot of extra energy.
Shocking, he's not doing so well.
Destroy stuff. What I'm gonna do is find like a really sturdy, like the sturdiest wall of the ship, and just like punch that repeatedly until it looks slightly broken, and then I'm going to use the mending cantrip on it and then just continue attacking it. So I'm just going to keep mending it. So, and then just like, so I can just infinitely attack it and get out all my frustrations like a punching bag and just keep attacking it and then healing it and then keep attacking it.
Okay.
Until I feel tired. So like 2 hours or something until like a long time has gone by and then I finally am tired.
Okay.
When it's past 20 minutes and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be down there for a while, I'm gonna take out like my prayer mat. I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna light some incense and I'm just gonna meditate and like wait for him to come back.
Okay. Yeah, you find a nice wall. It's actually up on the middle deck, and it's to one of the rooms, and it seems to be sturdy. It seems to be repairable. Best yet. You could beat it and smash it, and then repair it. Beat it, smash it, repair, rinse and repeat for the next hour or a couple hours or so. As you break through the wood, though, of this particular room, you notice some candles that are in there. Not lit, but they're just in there, and then you repair the wall and you keep beating it down, and they're still in there, and they seem to be on an altar, but again, you keep repairing.
Okay. Oh, so after like 2 hours or whatever, then I will shift back into my human form, and I'll go up on the deck, and then I'll ask Oriana. Well, I'll walk up there and I'll see that she's like meditating. So then I'll just.
I wasn't sleeping.
Where in the world are they? Where is it taking so long? You don't know better than this. You could hear the high chirps of a gnomish voice carrying over the winds as she's wondering what in the world is going on.
Did you search the rest of the rooms on the middle floor?
I didn't know what you wanted to do, so I was just leaving you alone.
Okay. Well, I think we should go search them now before we leave, and then turn the ship into a giant firewall.
Would agree, but this was your sister's ship, and it's a Gilnean ship. It's very expensive.
That's true.
And they might want to memorialize it or do something for her.
Well, hopefully they don't need any food. And I'll just start going below deck to go investigate something out the room.
Oriana's like... So she's been thinking about this, she's starting to feel a little bit guilty about this whole situation, so she's really not certain what to do. She packs up her stuff again. She sees the gnome, and I'm gonna use message.
Okay.
And I'm gonna point at her, and I'm gonna say, Audric's sister was the captain of this ship. She's dead. We're mourning her loss. Leave us alone. And then I go downstairs to find Audric.
Message. Did they get a reply to that one?
They can. I didn't say it in the message. I didn't say it on purpose. but they do get a response.
She's a mage. She knows.
I know, but I was hoping she'd forget.
The only thing you catch back is, oh.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Shush. I go downstairs, but as I go down, I just keep a respectful distance of Audric, and just am careful about how I just not doing anything really to offend her. Or what, I'm just letting you lead the situation.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just start with the room next to that room that we were in.
Okay. In that room, there seems to be, again, a table, a bed. There we go. We're currently doing a little bit of an explanation stream of what happened at the end of last week's, because I know the Twitch stream cut out. It's just me, so no game. Just me explaining what happened, what all the players did and whatnot. To kind of start off, they continued searching the boat and went from room to room and found a few knickknacks here and there. They also found a a journal that was kept in a room that had some black candles in them, not lit. And then they kind of investigated that, or at least Oriana did. She spent most of the time looking at the letters, and then she also melted the handle to the door. The letters themselves, or I should say the torn journal page, there's about 3 of them that she found. Each one of them on a different page and just kind of scattered about on the floor. The first one says this: "When the Twilight people promised me a family, I never thought I would be helping some silly paladin go to some unknown region up north. The weather has turned cold, and I never thought I could shiver so much. One of the sailors has brought a magic fire that does not burn, but it has kept us warm in this frigid trip." The second page she picked up said this: "I have been looking into the reports the Twilight has given me. I'm surprised by the contents. How could she? All I was doing was keeping the rules and making sure my sister followed the path that we've been placed upon. How could she?" And then the third page that she found from the journal: "I have been looking over and over about what happened. Or I've been thinking over and over about what happened. I decided to send a letter when I get back to Felwood. A newly eager poem should face charges from the Kirin Tor just as Moonsong should face the justice of Elune. But the Twilight, that might be able to help me." And that's about all she read, or that's all that she found for the letters. And she melted the door handle to that room. It ends up being most likely inhabited by Amu Bearwalker, somebody from Oriana's past, who we have found out has been not quite so kind in recent days to her, and this seems to be part of the journey she took. After that, they looked through some more of the... That's a bit louder than I wanted it to be. But they went through, and then they looked through some of the other rooms. They found a couple of paladin rooms where the paladins had been staying in them, and just found some accoutrements and just some clothing and whatnot that seemed to be personal effects of each paladin. They also found a room where a dwarf had stayed, and found a small stash, or a small keg of some really good brew. They're not entirely certain what, but this seems to be a homemade. It seemed to be a homemade brew, meant to be this particular gentleman's, or dwarf's, entry into the Brewfest festival. And beyond that, not much else has happened. They did take a little bit of a drink of it, a couple of small glasses, and for some reason, Oriana got really, really drunk. AKA, she rolled a 2 on her Constitution saving throw, and the little bit that she had really set her off, and it was really good stuff, apparently. Anyways, they went back up to the top deck and made it back across over onto the other ship. Oriana using a Misty Step in order to get over there, almost teleporting into the main mast of the flying whale, and Audric making his way over via the plank, having them pull up beside him and just walking across instead. Then they both went down below and then told Genk Greymane what had happened, at least some of the information that they had found, and it was one of those things where they told him the information and he just kind of sat and thought. And we decided to end it there due to the technical difficulties that we were experiencing. Apparently, my OBS or something there was kind of messing with things and was not playing nicely last week. But this week it seems to be playing okay, at least for the last 5 or so minutes. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put this onto the end of the video that I'm putting together for last week's, and along with a picture of the Ashbringer, the sword that they had found, as well as, well, at least that, and along with some of the other weapons that they had gotten. But other than that, that should be about it. I want to thank you guys for at least taking the time to watch through this. Hope you guys enjoy this little addition on to the video. You guys have a good night, and God bless.